There are few things I enjoy more than seeing the downfall of communist China and the fact that President Trump, regardless if he gets a second term or not, immediately, I'm not discounting 2024, but yeah, it looks like he's going to be trying to salt the earth before Biden can come in with all of his commie loving roots and fucking torch the forest right in front of him. So, according to this Axios report, Trump plans a last minute China crackdown. Let's see what this is all about. President Trump will enact a series of hardline policies during his final 10 weeks to cement his legacy on China. Senior administration officials with direct knowledge of the plans tell Axios. Now, always take this with an actual grain of salt because whenever they don't use, specific sources, it very rarely ever comes out to being true, but we'll see what the groundwork here is, because we already know that there are a couple of executive orders out there, most specifically the one that was famously targeting TikTok, but was more, it was more pernicious when it was tackling any sort of foreign Chinese interests, and any sort of large business needed to expel the Chinese money that they had in their businesses and, leave it up to the media in order to make it the most sensationalist thing possible. Oh, he's just trying to ban TikTok because it flooded his Tulsa, Oklahoma rally from back then. No, it was a good thing that he did to get rid of Chinese interest and, the entire Western world. But we'll reduce it to Orange Man Hate TikTok because that could, easily fit on a headline of a newspaper. So why it matters. He'll try to make it politically untenable for Biden's administration to change course as China acts aggressively from India to Hong Kong to Taiwan. All three of those, Hong Kong and Taiwan, I feel super bad for them because, oh boy, if Biden actually manages to rig himself in there for the next 4 years, those will become Chinese territories like that. And India, between them and Palestine, China and Palestine, that is, they are putting way too many warships on the coast, and that doesn't exactly spell out to be a peaceful time in the near future. And the pandemic triggers a second global wave of shutdowns, which I've cataloged extensively today and feel that I don't need to elaborate any further. Details. So Trump officials plan to sanction and restrict trade with the more Chinese companies. Yeah, buddy. Government entities and officials for alleged complicity in human rights violations in Xinjiang and Hong Kong. Fuck yeah. Good. Somebody has to fucking recognize that horrific shit that's been going on there. Please do take the time. It's been a couple of weeks, but I'm very proud of that video that I did on the Uyghur death camps. And yeah, feel free to go back and watch that, or at least do your own research on it, because it is quite possibly, for the past 60 years, the most atrocious human rights violations that have been going on a global stage. The administration will also crack down on China for its labor practices beyond Xinjiang forced labor camps. That's the nicest way you can put it. But don't expect big new moves on Taiwan or more closures of Chinese consulates in the United States, officials say. Like the one that they closed earlier in, when was that? Late summer? It was in Houston, and they closed it up after there was a big fire there, and a bunch of important documents seemed to go up in smoke. Boy, that sure is convenient, eh? National Security Council spokesperson John Ulott told Axios, unless Beijing reverses course and becomes more responsible player on the global stage, not fucking likely, future U.S. presidents will find it politically suicidal to reverse President Trump's historic actions. I like this guy. I like the cut of his jib. Behind the scenes, senior administration officials are discussing expanding a Defense Department list of Chinese companies deemed to have ties to the Chinese military. Well, if you have ties to the Chinese government, because it is a communist regime, therefore you have ties to the Chinese military. That's just how it fucking works. We seize the means of production, therefore everything has a significant government stake. So, yeah, guess what? Have Chinese money, pay Chinese prices. An executive order issued last week barred U.S. investments in 31 such companies, and any additions would likely face a similar restriction. Officials plan to target China's growing use of forced labors in the highly competitive fishing industry. They're just stealing Australia, New Zealand, Japan's fishing markets, Vietnam's, I'm sure I'm leaving a bunch of names off the table there, but yeah, they are noted. Just ask any Australian or just ask any Japanese that you know. Coerced and unpaid slave labor isn't just a human rights concern. It can also give Chinese fisheries an advantage over rivals in the industries with geopolitical significance. Yeah, exactly. Because listen, if you don't have to pay them or you don't have to allow them to sleep, yeah, as soon as they, drop dead, you can just throw them off the side of the boat. And that's what they do in China. Trump officials have been looking to move more hawkish China experts into senior roles across the government, another senior official added. What they're saying, Director Ratcliffe will continue playing a lead role in coordinating with other national security principles. So far, John Ratcliffe has been the only trustworthy name in the so-called deep state that he's the director of national intelligence, so not exclusively affiliated with the FBI or the CIA or all of those other compromised entities, but he's been very consistent with his pursuit of justice, especially when it comes to uncovering the fact that Hillary Clinton exclusively made up the Russia hoax, and nothing ever came of that. It's one of my best performing videos out there if you'd like to take a look, but she fucking made that up and nothing ever came of it. And you know what? That's another good reason why there should be a second term, because for President Trump, this is nothing's going to happen with the Biden emails, the Hunter Biden laptop more specifically. Following up on Obamagate, that's going to be dead and gone in the wall. Unless President Trump pardons Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, Michael Flynn. Michael Flynn specifically, he will get probably sent to the deepest, darkest part of federal penitentiary, because they had it out for him in 2016 when the transition, which leftists are saying right now needs to take place, even though nothing has been certified, but that's neither here nor there. Meanwhile, they gloss over the fact that the outgoing Obama administration was anything but peaceful going into the Trump administration, so you know what, tit for tat on this one. I'm tired of playing the fucking higher ground game. It's like all of those videos that you're seeing coming out of Washington, D.C. right now with the Antifa protesters. Jesus, even I'm saying it now. I'm getting too tired for this shit. The Antifa rioters, Black Lives Matter rioters that were pushing, harassing, throwing, kicking, punching, and, well, just general shitbaggery against the Trump supporters that were there for the Million MAGA March. And, more specifically, the one guy who got his fucking dome caved in by the one sucker punch from behind. Yeah, he pushed somebody out of the way who was previously accosting and harassing somebody else. And they seem to think that because that guy pushed somebody to the ground, that deserved him losing 50 IQ points. Or there was a bitch who had, I don't know how she got knocked out, but she was wearing a motorcycle helmet, brandishing a knife, stole somebody's flag, and she got cold cocked upside the head. Somebody came and removed the knife from her possession and took their flag back. And all of a sudden, the MAGA supporters are supposed to be the terrible people in this. Tell me how that works. That is the sort of revisionist history we're going to be getting when it comes to China, and the fact that no more reporting is going to be happening when it comes to these death camps that are going on. The UN doesn't want them to be exposed whatsoever. Hell, China's on the Human Rights Panel, if you can fucking believe it right now. There was a report earlier this week or a couple weeks ago where the Human Rights Panel consisted of China, Saudi Arabia, and Iran. Let that one sink in for a minute. I am so glad that President Trump is actually standing up to the CCP. There is nothing good that comes out of there, because there's nothing good that's ever come out of communism, except for a bunch of hot women. Let's be honest. So if this actually comes to fruition, and I think it will regardless of a second term or not, like I said, we should always take it with a little grain of salt when it has these anonymous sources. So it's good groundwork. We don't really know what the fuck the executive orders are going to be. We just know the direction that they're leaning on going, according to an anonymous source, like I said there. But yeah, it's good for you guys to know this stuff, because anytime we can dick over China is a good day in my book. I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.